Hey Joda Pro, we're here today for me to get a new fit, actually get a recreational or a racing fit. I've had a recreational fit, and so if you're thinking about, man, I want to get into racing, and that's what the whole message of Joda Pro is for me as a beginner and for you guys out there that are beginners. How do I get into competitive cycling? How do I get into the sport of it? And so far I know my bike has been very upright. It hasn't been forward more, and so I've come here today again to Schlegel shop to get a more racing fit. So we're going to go through different steps in the process. You're going to see how that is all built together, and I hope that you'd be encouraged to get a proper fit. Some of the questions I've had people come in and ask is, why should I get a fit? Really, your body fitting to the bike specifically is going to help with knee problems. It's going to help you with different points of power. It's going to get you in a comfortable position, so when you're racing and you're riding a lot on the bike, getting hours and hours in, you're going to be not only comfortable, but your body's going to be optimized for the bike that you're on. So thanks for coming today. We're going to go through this, the first step here with Aaron here in a minute on the interview. Hey Joda Pro, the first part in the process in getting my fit today is actually an interview process. So we're here with Aaron Smathers from Schlegel's bike shop. So Aaron, this interview process, it's interviewing me, it's looking at the bike. What's the overview of how that first interview goes down?
When someone comes in for a fit, I like to know whether or not they're a recreational rider or looking at racing, so that I kind of have an idea of just initially how the bike is going to look, so that I can take a look at their bike and say, okay, yeah, we need to make some changes, things like that. You know, because a lot of people come in for recreational riding, they just want to be comfortable. Yeah. The thing is, racers though, they need to be comfortable too, because they're going to be on that thing for several hours at a time, many days of the week. They're doing a lot of training miles, so comfort comes into play, both of them. But then it depends on how aggressive we want to get, how aerodynamic, etc. The second part is I ask them, you know, how long have you been riding? And that means since November, or since, you know, last season, have you taken a break, or are you brand new on the bicycle? Yeah. And then also I get into, how does the bike feel to you? How's it doing for you? Does it feel like it fit? And then I go into some of the body assessments, starting at the feet, and then the saddle, and then the hands, all three contact points. Now, do you ever have people coming in with a bike frame that just isn't the right size for them? Sometimes I do. Not often, which is good. You know, at our store, we like to pre-fit, you know, so that we have that person, we do a fit kit measure, we do a pre-fit so that we know theoretically what position they're going to be in. Or even what frame or geometry, what brand of bike you might need to have. And we'll present 2 or 3 bikes so that they can pick and things like that. So that we know that when we get them on the fit stand, that bike is going to fit without changing stem lengths or the handling of the bike so it's too far out. Okay. Things like that. So, cool. Well, I mean, coming in, and it definitely does happen, and that's where it's good. If you're a legit bike shop, I would say they're going to help you fit and find a bike that fits you right. That's the danger sometimes in Craigslist and other things, is you might need a 56 and you might get a 54 centimeter frame, and then you're trying to make the bike work instead of knowing the bike works already. We've already kind of talked a little bit in the interview process. We know that I want to have a race fit today, which means I need to take some of these stackers out, I need to get a little lower. On the pedals, I feel like my cleats are a little bit back too far into my feet, and every once in a while my left knee, right here at the back of my knee, tightens up a little bit. What I like to look at when they first get on the bike is, first of all, I like to start at the back of the bike so that we set up this part leg angle wise, extension wise, fore aft on the saddle, and then I'll move to the front end of the bike. I have an idea already, since we're doing a race fit on Tony, what I want to do with the front end of the bike, but I don't like to adjust that until I figure out that the back end of the bike is set up and sound in the proper biomechanical angles. So Tony, go ahead and go onto your hoods right there at the top. Now what I want on the hoods is just to make sure the people are up there where their brakes are, their shifters are, with relaxed hands, because that's where the majority of the riding is going to be, especially if you're in a group. If you're by yourself, we look at other parts of the bars, but at this point it's mainly the hoods that drive everything. So what I'm looking for is proper leg extension, where the fore aft looks, that his shoulders are relaxed, his elbows are slightly bent, and to look at the orientation of his wrists, make sure he's got kind of a neutral handshake position. So once I've seen them pedal, I have an idea in my eyes what I want to do, but I want to make sure I get my anatomical landmarks marked correctly. So I'll use some sticky dots. Hopefully these things stay on today. Go ahead and bring your right foot down to the bottom. And the reason I use these dots is just to make sure that each time we stop and measure, I'm measuring the same points. within the variation of this dot, of course, but I want to use my anatomical landmark so that I know that I'm consistent each time I measure.
Now, Aaron, what I do know is I broke this leg in junior high, and so I know that it's about a 1/4 inch, or maybe a little over a 1/4 inch shorter than my left. So as you're measuring those different angles, will those angles change versus which leg, versus different
yes,
from leg to leg?
Of course, especially if you have that much of a leg length discrepancy, and that's more in our silver fit type stuff, but it's something we'll account for on you today because it's definitely important. Anything over about 5 to 6 millimeters, actually, we need to start correcting for with shims, wedges, etc., things like that, because we want to set biomechanically so that you have proper leg extension, you get all the power you can get, but still not lead into injury. If one leg is set and the other is shorter, well, it's going to have to overextend. Right. And then the vice versa. If the short leg is set, the left leg, or the longer leg is not going to extend enough, and you can run into problems there too. Okay, Tony, go ahead and pedal. Okay, everything's good, so stop at the bottom of the pedal stroke. All right. What I want to make sure is that I orient his foot the way he was pedaling. He's a little bit toed down. Okay, hold right there. And I use what's called a goniometer, which basically is just a neat thing for measuring the body. That's a good saddle height. Now I want to check the fore-aft position, or the knee over pedal. So Tony, bring this up. Okay, put your right brake on and hold it. Okay, so bring your knee over. All right, so it looks like we need to bring you forward a little bit on your saddle. Make sure you're scraping back like we talked about. That's a new pedal stroke you need to work on.
Yeah, I know.
You feel like you're sitting on the saddle where you normally do?
Yeah.
Okay, do you notice that it moved?
A little bit, yeah. I feel a little more forward on it, but not like in a bad way.
Okay, so go ahead and stop pedaling at the bottom. So I want to double check the saddle height, or the leg extension. Since I moved you forward, that'll bring you down a little bit. So that still looks okay. Okay, go ahead and pedal again. I like to just see people pedal. You still look a little low to me when I watch you. And stop at the bottom. Sometimes a rider tends to pedal, and then all of a sudden, you know, they'll stop and they'll relax everything out. So what I want you to do is try to pedal and then just stop.
Oh, pedal and just stop. Okay.
So there we go. Now it looks low. That's what I thought. Okay, so I'm going to have you jump off the bike so I can make an adjustment. I made a couple of adjustments to Tony's bike. He was talking about too much hand pressure, he felt like, and his triceps are really feeling it. The triceps part, he's probably going to feel that. That's back in here. We got a new position for the muscles, but we wanted to relax some of the pressure on the hands, so I made a couple of adjustments in the saddle and the bars.
This feels a lot. I mean, I can tell a big difference just from the little things you did there. Right. Hands aren't feeling like they would go numb. It's much more comfortable.
So pretty neutral handshake position there. Saddle still feels good. Slightly bent elbow, that's good. Relaxed shoulder. And we're not overly aggressive. We can actually go more aggressive as you condition to this.
Yeah, I don't know that I could go any further without feeling really uncomfortable.
Right. So go ahead and go to the drops for me. There I want to look at, you know, the wind's going to come at you. This is when you're in the drops, you're really going hard, or into a headwind. We want to make sure that you're pretty aerodynamic. We don't want to close the hip angle too much so that you're hitting yourself in the knees, or with your knees in the chest or in your stomach. and you close that gap so much you can't create power anymore. How does that feel in the drops?
That's good.
Still feel like you could grind, you could create some power down there?
Absolutely, yeah. I still feel like I have plenty of room in the legs, but definitely feel lower, which is a good thing.
Go ahead and go back on your hoods for me. And stay kind of down in that race position there. You feel like you would want to go out a little bit? Or does that feel pretty good?
I think it feels all right.
Okay. So at this point, in our bronze fit, we would almost be finished. He's happy, I'm happy with the way the fit looks. It feels pretty good for him. At this point, he's in a discovery period where he needs to go out and ride the bike on the road, because even though it's on a trainer, it's going to be different. Give me feedback, and if he's got issues, we'll make adjustments as needed. With the leg length discrepancy, we're going to go into more of the silver level stuff, look at knee tracking, wedging, what we need to do to make sure that he's not dipping to one side. What I can do sometimes is go to the back here. Tony, go ahead and kind of get up to a pretty good speed.
Okay.
Just a little bit below lactate threshold. I just want to take a look at his hips, see if he's rocking too much, which is not too bad, so he may compensate in the ankle here with his leg length discrepancy. Even though he says it's shorter, it may just be taken up with his ankling, which may not be a problem.
My left ankle feels more active.
It does?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see a little bit there too.
Almost like I'm bringing it up to then push down again.
Right.
Whereas
So
the
we'll
right one.
assess that in the silver fit.
All right, Joda Pro. Well, Aaron has been awesome here. Hope you guys have really enjoyed getting a chance to see all the different elements that go into getting a proper fit. I'm much lower on the bike, and being me, I wanted to go way low. And talking with Aaron, it's good to have somebody you trust with it, because I realized I couldn't go as low as I wanted, and I needed to go just kind of in between before I get more aggressive in my fit. But you can see I'm much more forward now. You can see that I feel some tension here, but it's just gonna be some muscle stuff I need to work on. So I'm really happy with this new fit. It's more of a racing fit. It's gonna be more aerodynamic, but I don't feel crunched up. And I encourage you guys that as you're looking to get competitive and into cycling, I can't encourage you more to get to a good shop and get a good fit, and then get strong cycling. So if you guys have questions, leave them in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.